Our life is a series of actions, a process of action on different levels of consciousness. Consciousness is to experience, to name, to identify, and to record. That is, consciousness consists of challenge and reaction. In other words, to experience, then to name, and finally to record in memory. Now, action creates the agent. That is, the agent begins to exist when action aims at a result, at an objective. If there is no objective, there is no action. If there is no action, there is no agent. But if there is an objective, in that case, action creates the agent. Thus, agent, action, and objective, or result, form a unitary process, a single process that begins when the action has an objective. Action, with the objective of achieving a result, is will. Otherwise, there is no will. The desire to achieve a result gives birth to will, the agent. For example, I want to accomplish something. I want to write a book. I want to be a rich person. I want to paint a picture. We know these three states very well: the agent, the action, and the objective to be reached. This is our daily existence. I am explaining what it is, but we will only begin to understand how to transform what is when we examine it clearly, without illusion, prejudice, or inclination towards it. Now, these three states that constitute experience, the agent, the action, and the result, are a process of becoming. Otherwise, there is no becoming. If there is no agent, if there is no action directed towards an objective, there is no becoming. However, life as we know it, our daily life, is a process of becoming. For example, I am poor, and I act with the objective of becoming rich. I am unattractive, and I desire to become beautiful. Therefore, my life is a process of becoming something. The desire to be is the desire to become at different levels of consciousness in different states. And in this process, there is always challenge, reaction, identification, and recording. The constant struggle to be something, spiritually, or as we say, to achieve success, is the movement of becoming. For example, now I am this, but one day I will reach the final goal, the highest principle, whether that principle is called God, Brahman, or any other name. The constant struggle, whether to become or to be, is the same thing. But when someone is trying to become in various directions, in that case they are denying being. When you try to be, you are also becoming. Look at this movement of the mind, of thought, being dissatisfied, discontent with what I am. I try to fulfill myself in something else. I begin to desire a specific goal. It may be painful, but we think the goal is pleasant. This constant struggle to be and to become, we are all trying to become. Physically, we want a better house, a better position, more power, a higher status. Biologically, if we are unwell, we seek to get better. Psychologically, the entire inner process of thought, of consciousness, our entire inner inclination stems from the recognition that, in reality, we are nothing, and in becoming, we distance ourselves from this psychologically. Internally, there is always the escape from the fact. We always run away from what we are. From what we are discontent with, towards something that will satisfy us in the future, whether that satisfaction is conceived as great contentment, happiness, or enlightenment, which is a projection of thought, or the accumulation of greater knowledge. All of this is still the process of becoming. I am. I will be. This process means psychological time. The brain is programmed for this. Our entire culture, all of our religions, all of this is the movement of the entity that wants to be something different from what it actually is. This is a phenomenon that can be observed all over the world, not only in the West, but also in the East. Everyone is trying to become, or to be, or to avoid being. If there is no objective to be achieved, there is no agent, because it is the action based on the objective that creates the agent. But can there be action without an objective in view, and therefore without an agent, without the desire for a result? In that case, this action is not a becoming, and therefore it is not a struggle. There is a state of action, a state of experiencing without the experiencer and without experience. Action that does not result from an idea is spontaneous. When the process of thought, which is based on experience, is not controlling the action. When the mind is not controlling the action, this is the only state in which there is understanding. When the mind, which is based on experience, is not guiding the action, when thought, which is based on experience, is not shaping the action, this action exists. When the idea ceases to exist, and the idea only ceases to exist when there is love, love is not memory. Love is not experience. It is not love to think about the person we love, for that is merely thought. We cannot think about love. We can think about the person we love, or to whom we are devoted, the guru, the image, the wife, the husband. But thought, the symbol, is not the real thing. Therefore, love is not an experience. When there is love, there is action, and this action is liberating. It is not the result of mental activity, and there is no interval between love and action, as there is between idea and action. The idea, which is always old, projects its shadow on the present, and we live trying to bridge the gap between action and the idea. When there is love, which is not a product of the mind, which is not a product of the idea, which is not memory, which is not the result of experience or discipline, then, in that very love, there is action. Love is the only thing that liberates. As long as there is mental activity, as long as action is shaped by an idea, which is an experience, there will be no liberation. And as long as this process exists, all action will be limited. Once this truth is perceived, that love, which does not arise from the mind, which cannot be thought of, becomes real. Jiddu Krishnamurti.